Today's video is a DIY FYI, and I gotta tell you this, we've all been there. There's that nut or bolt or tool that's frozen and you just can't get the thing to budge. So you put a little heat on it and that doesn't work, and then you move on to a breaker bar and that doesn't work, and then you decide, well, you know what, I think I'm gonna hop in the car and drive up to the auto parts store, get a little penetrating fluid. And you spray the heck out of it, and then after a while, guess what? You get a little movement, and then a little bit more. I'm going to tell you something that the makers of penetrating fluid, they don't want you to know, and it's this. I haven't purchased penetrating fluid in years because you can make it yourself, and it's a lot more effective than anything, well, I've ever purchased. If you're a mechanic or a plumber or you do tool restoration, chances are you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've used it yourself. But if you're a DIYer, you could be out of the loop a little bit. Maybe you've been running to the store and spending your money on penetrating fluid when you could make your own for pennies on the dollar. Now recently, I was in the basement of the project home and I came across a pair of German cutting pliers, and they were seized. And I thought this is a perfect opportunity to do a video on penetrating fluid that you make yourself. So let me show you what it is, how to make it, and then we're going to take those German cutting pliers that are frozen. I'm going to show you how easy it is to free those babies up. So, well, let's get started. So what I use to make penetrating fluid is, well, number one, acetone. It's a solvent. Now this here is the only other ingredient you're gonna need, and it's automatic transmission fluid. You'll want to get conventional ATF. You don't want to get a synthetic or a synthetic blend automatic transmission fluid. Go for the real deal, okay? Because it's going to make a big difference. Now what you want to do is do a 50-50 mix. 50% acetone to 50% ATF. Now this is an oil can here. Now if you don't have an oil can, don't worry about it, because most of the time I use a brush and a metal cup. Now one last thing before we use it, and it's this. This solution is a lot like water and oil. It separates. So just make certain that you give it a thorough shaking up before you use it on that frozen nut or bolt, or you try to free up that frozen tool. So here we go. These are our German cutting pliers, and I'm going to give them a good tug here, and as you can see, it's seized up pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to place it in a pan. We're going to give it a few squirts of our acetone and our automatic transmission fluid solution. But first, I got to shake it up real good. Now I'm just going to squirt it here. Now remember what I said about an oil can. If you don't have one, a lot of times I just mix up what I need in a cup and take a brush and just brush it on. We're going to wait about 5 minutes, then we'll give it a try. Okay, so here we go. It's probably been about 10 minutes, and I gave it a little extra time. Now we're going to give it a good tug and see if we've freed it up. All right, let me move this out of the way. Okay, let's see what we got here. Ready? Here we go. Can you believe that? It was that easy. I'll move it back and forth and get it going. But I got to tell you, this stuff is really terrific. I have never had anything that I couldn't free up using that solution. So next time you have a frozen bolt or nut and you're thinking about, well, maybe I need to run up to the auto parts store, think again. You can make it yourself for pennies on the dollar. This is Leah saying you can do this. See you next time.